Hey everyone, today we're going to be learning about intervals and we're going to talk first of all about generic intervals. An interval, right now I'm on musictheory.net and all of this is something that you can access by going to that web page. I'm just going to read through this quickly and give you an overview. An interval measures the distance between two notes. We're going to talk about generic intervals, okay? When two notes occupy the same line or space, they are a first, and it looks like this. They're the same line. There's the same space, there's the same line, okay? Accidentals are ignored when measuring generic intervals. Only staff position matters. So this is still a first if we're talking about generic. Okay, this is still a first. In reality, this has a different name, but generically it doesn't. Okay, as the notes become further apart on the staff, the interval type increases. There's a second. We start here and we go 1, 2, 1, 2. We're not skipping a line or a space. If we start on a line, we go to the next space. C to E is a third. 1 is the line, 2 is the space, 3 is the line. 1 is the space, 2 is the line, 3 is the space. Notice that the thirds will always share the same staff position type. So if it's a line, it's a line. If it's on a space, the next note is on a space. Okay. Here are fourths. 1, 2, 3, 4, fifths, sixths, sevenths, eighths, and so on. Here is the chart. You can go and look at this in musictheory.net to go to generic and to learn about generic intervals. Of course, this chart only shows it when the first note is on a C. Intervals can be any note to any note. It doesn't have to have a C in an interval. I'm going to go home. At musictheory.net, I'm on the lessons, and the one I just did was generic intervals. Now I'm going to go to specific intervals. This is more complicated. Okay, specific intervals are measured both on the staff and in half steps on the keyboard. As you learned in the previous session, C to D and C to D flat are both generic seconds. These are both seconds if you're only talking about generic intervals. But now we're going to go into specific intervals, okay? So some of the specific intervals, one of them is a major second. It's made up of two half steps. All specific intervals are going to deal with half steps. So we have to be clear about what a half step is. Don't forget that on the keyboard, half steps go from key to key, usually from a white key to a black key, or from a black key to a white key. But in the case of an E to an F, it's right here, or a B to a C. There is no black key, so you're just going to the very next key. Okay, a C to a D is a major second. It's a generic second on the staff, and it's two half steps on the keyboard. 1, 2. E to F, sharp, is also a major second. 1, 2. Okay, so we're talking half steps. We start here. There's one half step. Here's another half step. And from that note to that note, okay? A major third is 4 half steps. If you look here, you know it's going to be a third because a 3 is the generic name for the interval. 1, 2, 3. But in order to figure out how many half steps, we have to go to the keyboard. Here is a C, so we're starting on a C. This is an E, so we're ending on an E. Now we're going to count the half steps. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 half steps is a major third. E to G sharp is also a major third. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, there is a chart at the bottom of this that will help. A perfect fourth. First of all, you see over here that this is a generic 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. But it's also made up of 5 half steps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. F to B flat is also a perfect fourth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A perfect fifth is made up of 7 half steps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, there's another perfect fifth. A major sixth has 9 half steps. A major seventh has 11 half steps. And a perfect octave has 12 half steps, a C to a C. The term major and perfect refer to the interval's quality. You're going to hear me talking about interval quality. Only seconds, thirds, sixths, and sevenths can have a major quality. Firsts, fourths, fifths, and eighths use perfect instead. You will never have a major fifth interval or a major fourth interval or a perfect third. Okay, those words don't line up with those intervals. Perfect goes with 4, 5, and 8. And major and minor go with 2, 3, 6, and 7. Okay, when we talk about minor intervals, a minor interval has one less half step than a major interval. For example, C to E flat is a half step lower than C to E. And we did C to E before. C to E is a major third. It has 4 half steps. 1, 2, 3, 4. If we are only going to E flat, that is one less half step, and it's 1, 2, 3 half steps. So then we are at a minor third. Notice the minor is by a lowercase m. E to G is also a minor third. It only has 3 half steps. 1, 2, 3. Only seconds, thirds, sixths, and sevenths can be minor. Okay, so that's all we're going to do today. In this lesson, it does talk about augmented and diminished intervals. But for now, we're not going to talk about those. And I want you to check out this chart. This chart has the number of half steps and then the names, the generic names of the intervals and the specific names of the intervals. So if there are 3 half steps, it's going to be a minor third. It could also be an augmented second, but we are not going to deal with augmented or diminished chords today. So in your practice, you are only going to use minor, perfect, and major. This chart is going to be very helpful for you. You are only going to use minor, perfect, and major. And I have another video that you can watch if you are still confused about how to do this. Please reach out. I will open my WebEx room at 9:30 on Friday morning if anyone has any questions. Okay, have fun. Bye.